I didn't have an MBA. I didn't have a mentor or a perfect plan. I did, however, have a vision. I recognized a problem and I felt that I could do it better. With this, I also had a willingness to learn. My name is Max. I started Mad Dragon Cleaning LLC when I was 25, about 2.5 years ago, and we're on a mission to serve what I believe is an underserved workforce. Now, before all of this, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Shortly after, I started working at a credit union. I was a banker there. I shortly after became a loan officer, and I, from that, not much applied to being a business owner. I did, from the Marine Corps get some discipline, I would say, and confidence, and from the credit union I gained some financial acumen, which was definitely helpful. I got to know more about money. But, I didn't, despite learning more about money, one of the first mistakes that I made in my business was learning what it means to charge a fair price. Our first client, I'm sure they loved us because when we started, their place was spotless. We started cleaning apartments and it was spotless, but we charged them almost nothing. And so they got a heck of a deal out of it, but we were left wanting, and that's not what business is about. Everybody should feel like they got a good deal out of it. So what made me take this leap? What gave me the confidence to do that? While working at the credit union, I got to meet with business owners. I got to shake their hands. I got to see business finances. I got to see behind the curtain and see what was going on there. It gave me the confidence to say, why not me? These people are human, just like you, just like myself. And I recognize this problem. I see this underserved workforce. They're not treated the way that they should be treated. They're not afforded the opportunities and the benefits that they should be. And so I decided I can do it better. I can do that. If they could start a business doing what they're doing, I can do this. And so I did. Now, the beginning, it wasn't perfect. We had a strong start, however. I was working, I was going to school full time when I started this. I recommend that if you are working full time and going to school full time, maybe don't start a business. I certainly didn't have the time for it, but I did it anyways. Again, do not recommend. However, while working, I put together a list of apartments. At the time, I thought this was my ideal client. I put together this list of apartments, and over my lunch, I called them. I called down this list. I wrote down who I spoke to, their name, email, those things, and the next day, I locked in a time to meet with one of them. And I showed up. I dressed well. I presented myself well, spoke well. And so the next day we started cleaning, and it was tough. The cleaning was fine. I am not a cleaner by trade, never worked for a cleaning company. For those of you that are in the military, for a while I did clean quite a bit. Some of you will relate to that, but I wasn't a cleaner by trade, and it took me forever. It took me the entire day. I gave myself a Saturday to do it, and I took an entire Saturday to clean this unit by myself. And while cleaning a whole apartment by yourself, it can be difficult. A whole day was a little excessive. I had a lot to learn. So for me, this business was never about the money. I understand the value of money. I understand that money is necessary to be able to provide for my team the way that I want to. I understand that there needs to be an abundance of money for me to be able to share that abundance with my team. At a company our size, we're not yet able to offer these benefits. I don't have any full-time positions yet that are filled. A lot of the cleaning is being fulfilled by myself, and I do have some part-time help, but I don't have any full-time positions yet. However, in the meantime, I am doing what I can to make connections, to learn as much as I can about this, about providing these benefits, about what is the right way to do it, so that when we are ready, I can hit it full force. And my goal is really to make these benefits standard. I want to, offer paid time off, the full-time benefits that you think of: paid time off, sick days, vacation, health insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, retirement. I also want to go beyond that. I want to offer assistance with childcare. People don't realize that this industry is primarily women. A lot of these women can be single mothers. I know a ton of single mothers personally. And it's hard to work because it's hard to have somebody watch your kids for you if that's what you have going on. And so you're working, and it feels like you spend 70% of your time working just to pay for somebody to watch your kid, for some people. And I've spoken with these people, and I feel for them. I understand this, because I'm also the breadwinner, and though I don't have to pay for childcare, I do have to make up for that. I do have to make up for that deficit in income, because my partner is not working currently. She's here at home with the baby, which I'm grateful for. Now, again, I think that these things should be the standard. I think that this should be the standard across the industry. Now, if you are thinking about starting a business, if you're thinking about taking on a new venture and you don't feel like you're qualified, I want you to take that leap. I want you to do it. Just start. That's really, just take the first step. The way that I paint this picture for people is I look off in the distance. You can't see, but look with me. Look off in the distance, and you see a stairway to heaven, right? And now, I can climb a stairway, right? If that's all I gotta do, and I'm just, boom, I'm on the other side of that stairway and I'm to heaven, I'm gonna get there. If that's all I gotta do to get to the dream world, or whatever it is, the perfect life, I'm gonna climb that stairway. But that's a lot of stairs. That can be pretty intimidating. And so what I say is, look down, look at where you're at, look at that next step, and clean that step off and take that step. Figure out what you need to do to take that next step, and keep going. Find out what you need to do for the next one, and go again. And eventually, before you realize it, you'll be halfway up the freaking staircase. You'll be halfway there. And just do that. Press on. Don't look at the whole daunting image of what you think you need to do. Just look at what you can do in your space. Look at what that next step is, and do that. And then for those of you that resonate with my mission and what I'm trying to accomplish, if you have any advice, support, any of that, please, reach out. Feel free to leave a comment with any advice you may have. Please like, subscribe, share this video. That all helps me tremendously. It helps me get closer and closer to being able to accomplish my mission. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.